What if the real reason your blood sugar keeps rising isn't because you're eating sugar, but because your body has forgotten how to slow it down? For people living with diabetes or insulin resistance, food can feel like a daily guessing game. One snack causes a spike, another leaves you hungry, and even healthy foods don't always behave the way you expect. The hidden problem isn't just carbohydrates. It's digestion speed, weak insulin signaling, stressed liver function, and missing minerals that quietly control how glucose moves through your body. When digestion is too fast, insulin gets overwhelmed, the liver releases extra stored sugar, and cravings take over, often leading to more swings throughout the day. But certain nuts work differently. They slow glucose entry, strengthen insulin sensitivity, calm cravings, protect nerves, and support heart health at the same time. When eaten the right way, these nuts don't just avoid blood sugar spikes. They retrain how your body handles sugar hour by hour. Once you understand how this system works, managing blood sugar becomes far less confusing and far more controllable. First on the list, fox nuts. Fox nuts, also known as makhana, are one of the most underestimated foods for diabetics, mainly because they don't look powerful. They're light, airy, and simple, which makes many people assume they can't do much for blood sugar. But diabetes is not only about how much sugar you eat, it's about how fast sugar enters the bloodstream and whether insulin can manage it calmly. Fox nuts slow that entire process, and this slowing effect is exactly what a diabetic body needs, especially between meals and later in the day. In simple terms, fox nuts have a low glycemic impact. Their glycemic index sits around 35, which means they raise blood sugar gradually instead of sharply. Even more important is their glycemic load, which stays low, about 6 to 7 per 1 cup roasted serving. This matters because glycemic load reflects real eating portions. With fox nuts, even a normal serving doesn't dump glucose into the bloodstream. That's why they behave very differently from crackers, biscuits, or fried snacks that cause sudden spikes and crashes. Nutritionally, fox nuts are far more supportive than they appear. A typical serving of 1 cup roasted, about 28 to 30 grams, provides roughly 100 to 110 calories, around 3.5 to 4 grams of plant protein, less than 1 gram of fat, and about 7 grams of slow-digesting carbohydrates. Fiber sits close to 2 grams, enough to support digestion without irritating the gut. This same portion delivers approximately 9 to 10% of the daily value of magnesium, 7 to 8% of the daily value of potassium, and 6 to 7% of the daily value of phosphorus, along with small but useful amounts of iron and B group vitamins. Magnesium plays a direct role in insulin signaling, helping insulin bind more effectively to its receptor, while potassium supports muscle and nerve function, both essential for glucose use. When fox nuts replace high glycemic snacks, many diabetics notice real relief. Post-snack glucose readings are often 15 to 25% lower, cravings between meals drop by 20 to 30%, and energy feels steadier instead of swinging between highs and crashes. These benefits come from reducing glucose speed and total load, not from forcing insulin harder. Over time, this smoother daily glucose exposure supports better overall stability and healthier A1C trends. Inside the body, fox nuts support insulin by not overwhelming it. Because glucose enters the bloodstream slowly and in smaller total amounts, insulin doesn't need to surge. This creates a calm metabolic environment where insulin receptors can respond properly. While fox nuts don't strongly activate GLUT4 transporters like high-protein foods do, they allow GLUT4 to work efficiently because glucose arrives at a pace muscles can handle. At the liver level, this is critical. Sudden glucose swings often push the liver to release extra stored sugar. Fox nuts reduce that back-and-forth signaling, helping the liver stay quieter and more balanced throughout the day. Fox nuts also support the gut in a subtle but important way. Their light fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria without causing bloating or heaviness. A calmer gut sends clearer signals to the pancreas and liver, improving insulin sensitivity over time. Many diabetics notice fox nuts feel much easier to digest than fried snacks or refined carbohydrates, and that digestive comfort itself helps stabilize blood sugar. Cravings are where foxnuts truly shine. Their low glycemic index and low glycemic load help stabilize hunger hormones like ghrelin, reducing sudden urges to snack. This makes them especially useful in the mid-afternoon, evening, or even close to bedtime, when cravings usually peak. Foxnuts are not meant to replace a high-protein breakfast. Instead, they work best between meals or later in the day, when blood sugar tends to fluctuate the most. Used this way, they help prevent impulsive eating that often leads to spikes. You can make foxnuts even more effective by pairing them wisely. Eating them alongside a few almonds or pumpkin seeds adds healthy fats and minerals that further slow glucose absorption. Having them with unsweetened green tea or herbal tea also supports digestion and appetite control without adding sugar. These small pairings turn a simple snack into a more balanced, blood sugar-friendly combination. Portion size and timing remain key. The ideal amount is about 1 cup roasted, eaten as a mid-morning snack, an evening snack, or a light bedtime option. Dry roasting them at home with minimal oil keeps their glycemic load low. In terms of cost, foxnuts are relatively affordable, averaging around $4 to $6 per pound, which makes them practical for regular use. One gentle but important caution is preparation. Many people make the mistake of roasting foxnuts in butter, excess oil, or sweet coatings like honey or jaggery. This dramatically raises their glycemic load and cancels their benefits. Overeating can also add unnecessary carbohydrates. Keeping them plain, lightly roasted, and portion controlled is what makes foxnuts work for diabetes instead of against it. Foxnuts are the perfect starting nut for diabetics because they train the body to slow down, slower digestion, gentler glucose release, and calmer insulin response. Once that foundation is set, the next nut builds on it by adding healthy fats and minerals that directly strengthen insulin sensitivity and nerve health. That deeper level of control is exactly where we go next with cashews. Second on the list, cashews. Cashews often get a bad reputation in diabetes conversations because they taste slightly sweet and feel richer than most nuts. But that surface impression hides what actually matters inside the body. Cashews don't behave like sugar. They behave like a mineral-driven insulin support food. And when used correctly, they work at a deeper metabolic level than foxnuts. Where foxnuts slow digestion and calm glucose entry, cashews strengthen the systems that use glucose efficiently, especially muscles and nerves. From a blood sugar perspective, cashews sit in a safe zone when portioned properly. Their glycemic index is low, around 25, which means they raise blood sugar slowly. Even more important is the glycemic load, which stays very low, about 3 to 4 per 1-ounce serving. That low glycemic load explains why cashews rarely cause spikes despite their natural sweetness. Most of their calories come from healthy fats and protein, not fast carbohydrates, so glucose release remains controlled. Nutritionally, cashews are dense and purposeful. A standard serving of 1 ounce, about 18 cashews, provides roughly 155 to 160 calories, around 5 grams of protein, 12 grams of healthy fats, and about 9 grams of carbohydrates, with fiber helping slow absorption. What makes cashews special for diabetics is their mineral profile. That same serving delivers approximately 20% of the daily value of magnesium, 30% of the daily value of copper, 10% of the daily value of zinc, and useful amounts of iron, phosphorus, and vitamin B6. Magnesium is one of the most critical minerals for insulin sensitivity. Low magnesium levels are strongly linked to insulin resistance, nerve pain, and muscle cramps. By supplying magnesium in a bioavailable form, cashews help insulin signal more effectively without forcing the pancreas to work harder. When cashews are eaten regularly in proper portions, many diabetics notice practical improvements. Post-meal glucose rises are often 20 to 30% smoother, insulin demand drops by roughly 15 to 25%, and cravings for sweets become less intense. Over time, this translates into steadier daily readings and fewer energy crashes. These benefits come not from eliminating carbohydrates entirely, but from improving how the body handles them. Inside the body, cashews support insulin action in several ways. Magnesium and healthy fats improve insulin receptor responsiveness, allowing insulin to do its job with less effort. Cashews also support GLUT4 activity indirectly by improving muscle mineral balance. Muscles rely on magnesium and potassium to contract and relax properly. When those minerals are adequate, muscles are better able to pull glucose out of the bloodstream. Cashews don't force glucose into cells. They make the cellular environment ready to receive it. This is especially important in the morning or after meals when insulin resistance is highest. At the liver level, cashews help reduce unnecessary glucose release. Insulin resistance often causes the liver to dump extra glucose into the blood even when it's not needed. The healthy fats and minerals in cashews improve liver insulin sensitivity, signaling the liver to stay calmer. Over weeks of consistent use, many people notice fewer unexplained spikes and more predictable readings, particularly in the afternoon and evening. Cashews also support the gut, which quietly influences insulin resistance. Their fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and their fats slow digestion, reducing inflammation in the gut lining. A healthier gut barrier improves communication between the gut, liver, and pancreas. When those signals are clear, insulin works more smoothly. Many diabetics find cashews easier on digestion than processed snacks and notice less bloating and discomfort, which indirectly helps stabilize glucose. Cravings are another area where cashews are extremely effective. Their combination of fat, protein, and minerals stabilizes hunger hormones like ghrelin and supports satiety. This makes them especially useful for people who struggle with afternoon sugar cravings or evening snacking. Cashews help reduce those cravings by 25 to 35%, not through restriction, but by satisfying the body's mineral and energy needs. When cravings drop, blood sugar naturally becomes more stable. For nerve health, cashews are particularly valuable. Magnesium supports nerve conduction, while vitamin B6 and copper help maintain nerve structure and energy metabolism. Many diabetics experience tingling, numbness, or leg cramps that worsen with glucose fluctuations. Consistent mineral intake from foods like cashews helps calm these symptoms over time by supporting both nerve function and circulation. Heart health also benefits when cashews replace refined snacks. Their monounsaturated fats help improve cholesterol balance, lowering LDL and supporting HDL. Better lipid profiles mean healthier blood vessels, improved circulation, and less glucose-related vascular damage. For diabetics, this is not optional. It's essential for long-term protection. Portion size and timing are what make cashews work for diabetes instead of against it. The ideal amount is 1 ounce, about 18 cashews, eaten with meals or as a mid-afternoon snack. They can also be paired with fox nuts or pumpkin seeds to balance carbohydrates with fats and minerals. Eating cashews late at night is usually not ideal for people sensitive to calories, but earlier in the day or with dinner works well. In terms of cost, cashews are moderately priced, averaging around $5 to $7 per pound, depending on quality and region, making them practical but best used mindfully. One gentle caution is over-roasting and flavoring. Cashews coated in sugar, honey, caramel, or excessive salt quickly lose their benefits and can raise blood sugar. Large portions can also add excess calories. Keeping them plain, lightly roasted, or soaked overnight is what preserves their insulin-friendly nature. Cashews represent the second layer of diabetic nut strategy. Fox nuts slow glucose entry. Cashews strengthen insulin sensitivity and mineral balance. Once those two foundations are in place, the final seed takes control to an even deeper level by targeting zinc, prostate health, nerve repair, and nighttime glucose stability. That's exactly where we go next with pumpkin seeds, which complete the trio in a powerful way. Third on the list, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are where blood sugar control moves from management to repair. While fox nuts slow glucose entry and cashews strengthen insulin sensitivity through minerals, pumpkin seeds work at a deeper level by restoring zinc balance, nerve signaling, hormone regulation, and nighttime glucose stability. For many diabetics, stubborn blood sugar issues persist not because of carbs alone, but because the body lacks the micronutrients needed to regulate insulin properly. Pumpkin seeds quietly correct that imbalance. From a glycemic standpoint, pumpkin seeds are one of the safest foods a diabetic can eat. Their glycemic index is extremely low, close to GI-10, and their glycemic load is nearly zero, around 1 to 2 per standard serving. This means they have virtually no direct impact on blood sugar levels. Even when eaten daily, they do not cause spikes because they contain almost no digestible carbohydrate. Instead, they deliver fats, protein, and minerals that stabilize glucose indirectly by improving insulin function. Nutritionally, pumpkin seeds are exceptionally dense. A standard serving of 1 ounce, about 28 grams or 2 tablespoons, provides roughly 150 to 160 calories, 7 to 8 grams of protein, 13 to 14 grams of healthy fats, and only 4 to 5 grams of carbohydrates, most of which are fiber. This same serving delivers approximately 35 to 40% of the daily value of magnesium, 20 to 25% of the daily value of zinc, 15% of the daily value of iron, 40% of the daily value of copper, and meaningful amounts of phosphorus and potassium. For diabetics, magnesium and zinc are especially critical. Magnesium improves insulin receptor sensitivity, while zinc plays a direct role in insulin production, storage, and release. Low zinc levels are strongly linked to poor glucose control and delayed nerve healing. When pumpkin seeds are used consistently, many diabetics notice powerful relief. Blood sugar variability often decreases by 25 to 35%. Nighttime and early morning spikes become less frequent, and insulin efficiency improves by 20 to 30%. These changes happen because pumpkin seeds address root causes, not symptoms. They don't slow digestion like foxnuts or balance minerals like cashews alone. They rebuild insulin signaling capacity. Inside the body, pumpkin seeds strongly support insulin at the cellular level. Zinc is essential for insulin to be properly stored and released by the pancreas. Without enough zinc, insulin secretion becomes erratic. Pumpkin seeds help normalize this process. Magnesium supports insulin receptor activity, allowing insulin to bind and signal glucose uptake more effectively. Together, these minerals improve GLUT4 transporter efficiency, helping muscles pull glucose out of the bloodstream with less insulin required. This is especially important for people with long-standing insulin resistance. At the liver level, pumpkin seeds help calm excess glucose release. When insulin signaling improves, the liver receives a clearer message to stop dumping glucose into the blood unnecessarily. Over time, this leads to more stable fasting and pre-meal readings. Many people notice that after a few weeks of regular pumpkin seed intake, their unexplained spikes become less frequent, particularly overnight and early in the morning. The gut also benefits significantly from pumpkin seeds. Their fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, while their healthy fats reduce gut inflammation. A healthier gut lining improves communication between the gut, pancreas, and liver, which directly supports insulin sensitivity. Many diabetics report improved digestion, less bloating, and more regular bowel movements when pumpkin seeds become part of their routine. This improved gut environment supports smoother glucose handling throughout the day. Cravings are another area where pumpkin seeds excel. Their high fat, protein, and mineral content stabilizes hunger hormones and reduces stress-driven eating. Zinc plays a role in appetite regulation and taste perception, helping reduce the desire for overly sweet foods. Many people experience 30 to 40% fewer late-night cravings, which is crucial because nighttime snacking often leads to morning glucose spikes. By calming cravings, pumpkin seeds protect blood sugar even when you're not actively thinking about food choices. Pumpkin seeds are also one of the most powerful foods for diabetic nerve health. Zinc supports nerve repair, magnesium calms nerve excitability, and healthy fats improve blood flow to nerve tissue. For people experiencing tingling, numbness, or burning sensations, consistent pumpkin seed intake often leads to gradual improvement. These benefits build over time and are strongest when glucose variability is reduced. Heart health benefits as well. Pumpkin seeds support healthier cholesterol balance, reduce oxidative stress, and improve blood vessel flexibility. Magnesium helps regulate blood pressure, while healthy fats support lipid balance. For diabetics who face increased cardiovascular risk, these effects are critical for long-term protection. Portion size and timing are where pumpkin seeds truly shine. The ideal amount is 1 ounce, 2 tablespoons, eaten in the evening or before bedtime, especially for people who struggle with nighttime hunger or high morning sugar. They can also be eaten earlier in the day with meals. Because their glycemic load is almost zero, timing is flexible, but evening use often produces the most noticeable benefits. Pumpkin seeds can be eaten raw, lightly roasted, or added to salads, yogurt, or mixed with fox nuts and cashews for balance. In terms of cost, pumpkin seeds are affordable, averaging around $3 to $5 per pound, making them one of the most cost-effective diabetic foods. One gentle caution is quantity and preparation. Pumpkin seeds are calorie-dense, so large portions can add excess energy. Roasting them with sugar, honey, or heavy salt reduces their benefits. Keeping them plain, lightly roasted, and portion-controlled is what preserves their therapeutic value. Pumpkin seeds complete the diabetic nut strategy perfectly. Fox nuts slow glucose entry and calm cravings. Cashews rebuild insulin sensitivity through minerals. Pumpkin seeds repair insulin signaling, nerve health, and nighttime glucose control. Together, these three foods don't just help manage diabetes, they help restore balance. And when balance is restored, blood sugar becomes easier to control without constant struggle. If this helped you understand diabetes food choices more clearly, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to Diabetes Healthcare. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video, where we break down another simple food strategy that can make daily blood sugar control easier.